Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with the trap habit. Bye, bye. All right. Hey, in a menudo style and direct fashion, we're going to get straight into the content of the day. But before we do, let's get to this intro. Welcome back to Gunners Collective TV. If you haven't already hit the like and subscribe button, make sure that you do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content that the gun is kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support, man. Thank you. Thank you. I'm very humbled. So I'm shocked. I'm shocked, right? Well, I can say I'm shocked to a certain degree. I've always thought that Lefty Gunplay had it in him. I always thought Lefty Gunplay, there was more layers to this guy than what you see on the surface. I do videos about Lefty Gunplay. Other content creators do videos about Lefty Gunplay, and he's always getting hatred. He's always getting clowned on. He's always getting capped on. He's always getting talked about because of the ways he wiggles. The guy gets on a Kendrick Lamar album. I don't care if it's 4 words, 2 words. Hey, homie, I don't care if it's 6, 7, 8. Yeah, he just said 4 words. I don't care what it is. But at the end of the day, that's 4 more words than any of us have ever had, right? He did that. But this constant being in the news or being on social media, sheds a bad light on the man because all we see is the negative, the drama, the bullshit, the getting caught with dope in your ass, the getting locked up constantly, the getting snatched up before Rolling Loud, the adversities that he's going through, the drug problem, the situation where his own team are looking at him, kind of closely and scrutinizing his every move because they're tired of paying for his bails. Just a lot of different things that get talked about, but what never gets talked about is the most revealing and shocking thing about his character. See, when you meet a man, you don't judge a man before you meet him. I was taught a long time ago and educated enough to understand that you judge a man based upon the content of his character, the way he acts with you. How someone may act with me ain't the way they might act with you. There's a whole different type of interaction. Maybe somewhere along the line, I've gained his respect and you haven't, or vice versa. Maybe somewhere along the lines, he's able to feel comfortable enough around me, whereas he might not feel that way about you, right? Or the other way around. That's how I am, man. When I'm around certain people, I can go into full convict gang member mode, all that, or I can go into myself, which is, I'm just a cool guy, right? We could do all that. But with Lefty Gunplay on the exterior, with the tattoos, with the mentality, with this gang stuff, everyone thinks either he's hardcore and he's about the business, or people think the totally opposite. He's a poop buddy, he's a clown, he's a J-Cat, and he's playing a role that he's not fit to play. Well, I'm going to tell you guys right now, what I seen totally shocked me. And that is Lefty Gunplay has a heart. Lefty Gunplay is not all crazy, famous, world famous gangbanger, gangster, all that. What Lefty Gunplay is, and I'm going to show you guys the footage here in a minute, is somebody totally different than who I thought he was. And he gained probably the most respect coming from me ever. The way that he conducted himself around these people made me feel like this is the reason to support this brown man. I don't care about the south side or the north side or which side that you claim. I don't care about the disrespect in the past. I don't care if the guy could rap good or not. The content of his character, the nature of his character is worth an applause, homie. It's you can see realness shining through in the way that this guy conducts himself. And again, I'm going to play the video in a minute, but I wanted to tell you guys a story. I had a homeboy, big bad wolf, gangster, the Debo of the hood, right? Who was one of the most dangerous individuals to be around, or at least we thought that way in our head, right? He was one of those dudes like, man, when he pulled up, tuck it, like, fuck it. You didn't want to be around him just based on the way he treated certain homeboys, the way he was aggressive, man, slapping up on homeboys and shit. It's like, damn, bro, that's red on red. That's red on red, right? We were tripping. Well, no one going to tell him that, though. But me and him had a cool relationship. He was my boy. I got lucky enough. All my life, I've been lucky. Straight up. 4-leaf clover shit. All my life, the mean guys, the guys that you think are the fucking hardcore, the guys that everyone's scared of in the hood, the Debos of the hood, the big U's of the hood, right? Everyone's like, oh, fuck. Those were always my boys. Those were always the ones I was coolest with because I was smart enough to understand, hey, you keep the threat, cool, okay? Hey, if they're not looking at you, you're good. I used to have a homeboy, Jesus, right? He was a nut. He used to go into parties and to be like, hey, homie, the Lord's going to knock somebody out today, right? And I used to be like, shit, I know what I mean because he's my boy, right? He'd be like, the Lord might knock one of the own homeboys out. Not you, though. You're good. I was like, thank you. I appreciate that, right? Deep down inside, I was, and that motherfucker had knockouts, and he was a nut. You'd have to fight him to the death, right? Even cops maced him, and it didn't work. I'm just saying. So I always kept cool with those dudes because I was smart enough to understand the get down, but also smart enough to understand that, you wanted someone like that on your team. Now, fast forward to the homie, his real attitude. I never got to see truly his attitude and the way he let his fucking exterior, his walls come down until he was around children or his family. He turned into a whole different person, a person I could respect, a person that I wasn't fearing anymore or tripping out on, a person I was like, damn, this is the real him. He was able to be himself, respectful, nice, kind, and I used to think to myself, someone that has that in him, why does he have to play this role? What does he get out of being the Debo of the hood, scaring people or faking it to making it, right? Why? Why can't you just be yourself and be accepted for who you are? Well, in society and in the gang life and in the criminal lifestyle, you can't. If you like country music and you're Mexican, the homies are gonna be like, come on, what the fuck you doing listening to that white shit, right? If you're black and you like rock and roll, motherfuckers are gonna look at you cockeyed like, what? On crap? On power? Why you listen to Kenny Loggins? Right? They're gonna trip. Now, at the end of the day, we're all human beings. We could be kind-hearted to people. We could be responsible people. We could be gangsters. We could be all that. Anything that you want to be. That's the lovely thing in life. But most of the time, we have this image to uphold. We have this, we got to fake that shit. Or not every. Some people are just built like that. They don't know anything else but to play gangster or be gangster. Lefty Gunplay struck me as one of those dudes. He struck me as a person that, because he did so much time in Pelican Bay and the LA County Jail, wherever, he had this hard shell, this exterior, and it's not going to crack for anyone. Okay, it's not going to crack for anyone. That's just not what he's going to do. But he shocked me. The true revealing nature, the nature of him was revealed. And I'm going to show you guys right now how it was revealed to me. And I want to see what you guys think about it. See, he's really a good dude. He's really not a bad person. And this right here, this video is going to show you. So let me get into it and then we'll talk about it.
You look like you cool. You get all the girls. He a cool guy on the gang. I would have kicked it with you. What sports you play?
I play like a lot.
You have to. You got to play a lot.
I play like baseball, football.
What's your dream?
Basketball and football.
Football. Stick with football. Tight end. Yeah. What you? Baseball?
Yeah.
Baseball?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Baseball's better.
Yeah.
Baseball's better. I got you. He look like he played the football like he'll whoop you guys in football.
So you got to see the video. That's Lefty Gunplay. He was at a signing, autograph signing. That's his interaction with young children. First of all, salute and respects for that, Lefty. Not J-catting out, not letting his drug addiction get a hold of him, not letting that gangster posterior or exterior get a hold of him, coming down to the kid's level. See, he did what you're supposed to do. He took a knee at eye level with the child. He listened to what they had to say and engaged in conversation. He took the kid literally and also was there to give, a good game. That's real clecha. Not giving your homeboys the game on where to put the gun and where to tuck this and where to tuck that and who to ride on and who the enemies are. Nah, he actually sat there with kids and encouraged them to do better in life, to play sports, and agreed with them and listen. And a kid and an adult listening to a kid, man, is a great thing. It shows them like, yeah, this guy's not that bad. And he did it correctly, coming down to their level so that he didn't seem like the big bad wolf, the mean guy. You know, I got to give that dude the ultimate respect. He gained us whole level of respect with that video. And that shows who Lefty really is. He's really a good dude. He's not putting on a front. That's not putting on a front, playing nice because they're kids. And, oh, it's the gangster mentality, homie. Why would he be mean to kids? Because there's going to be people that say that. Come on, gun, you're reaching. Why would Lefty be mean to kids? Man, I met a whole bunch of fucking wild, crazy motherfuckers that are mean to everybody, unfortunately, right? And they'll get theirs in the end. But the whole thing is, for as much grief and hatred that Lefty Gunplay gets, this is shocking to me. This is revealing of who he really is. See, there's different layers to this man. There's different layers. This dude obviously was educated the right way. Okay, you don't have to agree with his music capabilities. Yeah, he's not the sharpest tool in the shed. He's not the best rapper on the block. But one thing is that he is a man with the morals and respect enough to know how to treat the youngsters around him. You know, I always hear, oh man, the homies are not lacing up the little homies nowadays. Everyone's so concerned with lacing people up. Let me tell you, I was never lacing anyone up. When I was in a position and had young homeboys around me, guess what I was doing? I was poisoning their minds. I was misdirecting them. I was putting guns in their hands, telling them they should do this, they should do that, what to look out for. And everything that I was lacing them with because I was a hardliner. Yeah, there was a few good nugs, a few good little fucking jewels I was dropping, like don't use drugs, don't fucking hang around this person or that person, function, you know what I mean, as a motherfucking upstanding citizen. But all I cared about was how I could benefit off of what they had going on. That's all I really cared about deep down inside. But at the end of the day, a lot of those same things that I implemented or I told them, because I was in a position to tell them at that point, right? I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the hardcore shot caller, AIC everywhere I went, fucking authority in charge. No, I just was in a position with some younger homies that looked up to me because I did so much time in jail and prison, unfortunately, right? Like that's a good thing. And I would tell them, hey, we need to hit dropouts. We need to fuck these dudes, fuck these dudes. Whoa. Just, disrespecting. And that was my mentality, hatred, pure hatred for the other side, as well as for the people that couldn't function within my own car. And it backfired on me because years later, them same youngsters are now in position to be the man. And they're remembering what I told them and they're living up to that point. So where we say, oh man, in the hood, you got to be a big homie and support these dudes and tell them the way. What Lefty was doing was the realness. He was asking the kids about sports. He wasn't asking them about, hey, you want to be a rapper when you grow up? Hey, you want to be a gang member when you grow up? Hey, you want to be this, you be that? No, he was telling them, hey, what sports do you like? Putting their interests in a position that could only help them in the future and teach them structure and teach them, he was guiding them. That's a real motherfucker right there. A lot of people talk shit about Lefty Gunplay, including myself in the past. And when I say talking shit, I don't mean talking shit in a bad, negative way. Like I hate the dude because I never have. It's always been tough love. It's always been respect at the end of the day. And it's even more so now. I ain't got nothing bad to say about that dude. I don't care if he does drugs. That's his business. I don't care if he gets locked up. That's his business. When we were running around getting locked up back to back, no one was making videos about it. No one cared because we didn't have the clout enough or the hype enough for anyone to care. So really at the end of the day, when people are like, oh, guess what? Lefty got locked up again. Oh, guess what? Lefty got locked up again. He's fucking up. Yeah, we all know he's fucking up because we've lived that life. Of course he is. But how many times were you in the same position? How many times did you get caught with fucking dope while search and seized, right? How many times did you get caught in a fucking house you weren't supposed to be at? How many times did you get snatched up and violated on parole or probation? A gaggle of times. But the difference that separates him from us is he has popularity and he's slowly but surely making a name for himself. Whereas us, we were nobodies. But everyone thinks they're somebody. Actually, I'm not going to say you're a nobody like you ain't shit. But to the eyes of everyone, we were nobodies. To ourselves, we're always somebody. I'm somebody like a motherfucker, right? Who's making a name for myself. I just thought that I had to do this video to give this guy his flowers and his respect. I do videos clowning him, talk about, right? Crazy, scary, spooky, nefarious, right? Just whatever. But the truth is, this guy took it up another notch with me, man. He's gained a lot of respect for me, more so that I can't even disrespect this dude whatsoever, besides blah, 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 right? Because I believe that Lefty Gunplay has a good-ass heart, man. He has good intentions. He might do some crazy shit. He's very self-destructive. The person he hurts the most is himself and his family, unfortunately, right? And I hope that he realizes what he's doing before it's too late. But it's videos like this, man. And I want you to watch it one more time. That actually makes me smile. Like, damn, that raza does have a future, man. This guy recognizes it. Instead of, and it's funny because you'll see a lot of gang members. And when you ask, hey, what do you want your kids to be when they grow up? They'll be like, oh, man, I want my kids to do better than I did. You know what I mean? But at the same time, they're kids. But when they're thinking about your kids, it's like, man, it was so little homie. Come on, you're going to kick you. You see how that shit works? Come on, let's watch this video one more time of Lefty Gunplay's interaction. Like I said, it's a shocking revelation of who he really is and how he treats these kids and how he's not disinterested. He's interested in the conversation. He's actually a good dude, man.
You look like you cool. You get all the girls. He a cool guy on the gang. I would have kicked it with you. What sports you play?
I play like a lot.
You have to. You gotta play a lot.
After like baseball, football.
What's your dream?
Basketball and football.
Football. Stick with football. Tight end. Yeah. What you? Baseball?
Yeah.
Baseball?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Baseball's better.
Yeah.
Baseball's better. I got you. He look like he played the football like he'll whoop you guys in football.
That's a solid dude right there. Almost brings a tear to my eye, Lefty, right? Just his interaction, man. He was raised right. He was raised right. He was raised with humility, with respect, and he has some moral compass about himself, his morals, right? And that in itself right there gained a fan. You gained a fan, Lefty. That's can't be fun. You can't rap word shit. And I don't like the meth usage, but at the end of the day, his interaction with humans, with people, with kids especially, is cool, man. We focus so much on the negative, all these weirdos and people doing these bad things, and bad things unfortunately happen to like the 13-year-old man with the soccer coach and drama, man, when it comes to our future, right? But this guy right here is trying to help him and lace him up, and even taking his time out of a schedule to go meet up with these kids to sign for them. And half these kids don't even know who the hell he is, right? They just know he's someone famous or semi-famous, and he could have put a shirt on, but at the end of the day, he's himself. You got to respect him for being himself. And that's it, man. So, yeah, that's a shocking thing to me about Lefty Gunplay. Something I didn't know was that he has a heart and he's kind-hearted. It's crazy for being the world's most famous gangbanger and gangster and someone in and out of jail and prison for getting caught with guns, shootings, and all these are allegedly coming from him, right? And having went through what he went through, because, man, it's not easy in Pelican Bay. And I know some people are like, well, he only did 5 years or only did 4 years or only did 9 years. It doesn't matter if you do one day in Pelican Bay. You were in the Bay. And that's respect in itself, right? Whether it was the shoe or not the shoe, that is not the question. The question is whether he hit that soil and toiled a little bit. And he did. Doesn't matter where he got his tattoos. Doesn't matter what group he was associating or functioning with. That man was in Pelican Bay doing his thing. There's respects for that. Not crazy respects, because, again, man, the man that should be getting the ultimate respect is the man that's a responsible father taking care of his children, lacing those boots. Those are the real heroes. You know, convicts shouldn't get respect because they went to jail, but you should get respect on how you conduct yourself while there and while you get out and when you get out. Anyways, man, I wanted to do this video. It's a feel-good video. I know it's probably not going to get a lot of views because it's positive. People are probably like, man, we don't care about this shit. We thought he shot someone. We thought he was smoking more dope. We want to see him get locked up again. We want to see him fail. That's the word that's the word on the curve. That's what people want. They're waiting to see the demise of Lefty Gunplay. Whether you're from North hating on the South or South hating on the North or all this different shit. All this, there's dudes that really like, man, I can fuck with this dude, but he's from down there, so I can't fuck with him. And then there's dudes that from down South that are thinking, man, homie, he's misrepresenting the Sud. He's misrepresenting our people, getting Kawaskanti and all that. At the end of the day, that right there, that shit right there, that video was a representation for the brown people in a real way, something positive. Anyways, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I got a couple more bangers. I got a controversial. Since you guys like controversy, I got a controversial banger coming this afternoon. I'm probably going to get a lot of hatred. I don't give a fuck. It just is the way that I rock. Thumbs up or thumbs down. See, Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly and honestly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. This right here gained a fan. Lefty, that was a pretty solid movida, man. Treating kids the way they should be treated, not misdirecting them or lacing them up or gaming them up, or because at the end of the day, you're really truly poisoning them and not giving them the opportunity to grow and make decisions for themselves. I respect it, man. Shout out to Lefty Gunplay for that one. That's real.